Hey there, welcome to Tour Confidential. I'm Ryan Aselta, and happy to be joined this week by former SI and ESPN golf writer Pharrell Evans, and joining us via Skype, Golf.com's Josh Sens. And guys, it's all about Tiger Woods this week as Tiger makes his return to the PGA Tour, his first full-field PGA Tour event in a year, exactly a year, as he will play at the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. And when we look ahead now to this week, Pharrell, we look ahead to the year ahead, 2018. We last saw Tiger at the Hero World Challenge, a 9th place finish in that limited field event down in the Bahamas. Very friendly course, friendly environment. Little different story this week at Torrey Pines. What do you expect from Tiger in his first event back on tour?
I expect Tiger to make the cut, nothing more. Here's a guy, as you just pointed out, hasn't played in over a year, and real event, really, if you think about it. So I think he'll make the cut, and he'll be a crowd favorite, and there's a lot of pressure on him. So I just think I want to see him come out, make some putts, show that short game under pressure, and we'll go from there. But in contention on Sunday, I don't see that.
Yeah, you mentioned that short game. A little different chipping and getting out of the rough at Torrey Pines than the course down in the Bahamas. Josh, it was the logical return spot. I mean, he's had such success, 7 tour wins there. He's got the U.S. Open title. He also had a junior title at Torrey Pines. But the last 3 times he's played at Torrey Pines, he's had miscut, withdrawal, and an MDF. What do you expect from Tiger this week?
Yeah, I mean, it really is home cooking for him, this course, but it's not an easy one. It's much tougher than his friendly, as you mentioned, Hero World Challenge. What I expect from him is to play well enough to give the optimists hope and to have enough struggles to give the pessimists more cause for skepticism. And I think we'll see him hit a lot of good shots, but I'm really curious to watch the short game. There were enough scuffy chips at the Hero to make me think he's still got the heebie-jeebies. And as much as the announcers did their best to kind of pass it off on the grain of the grass and his rust, I think he's got some mental issues with the short game, and that's really going to be the big challenge there. Of course, Torrey is also a much tougher ball-striking slog than the Hero. So there's going to be a lot of strains and pressures on his game, and I'm curious to see how it goes. Again, I think that if you're looking for signs of optimism, you'll see some, and if you're looking for signs for worry, you'll find those too.
Yeah, there was so much optimism. Everyone got caught up in the Hero and watching him swing the driver especially. But I agree with Josh. There were moments where you thought about the chipping yips. You thought about some of the putting struggles. But overall, I don't know, guys. I'm kind of bullish on Tiger this year. I'm looking for Tiger not to return to the Tiger of old. We're never going to see that again. But what about 2013 Tiger? That's the last time he played as a healthy golfer. He won 5 times on tour, and statistically is what jumps out at me. He was 2nd in total strokes gained that year, 2nd in strokes gained tee to green, 1st in strokes gained approach, 23rd in putting. Solid statistically for Pharrell across the board. His one problem that year was driving the ball, 127th off the tee. Now, all of a sudden, though, his swing speed is way back up. He's hitting it out there with Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth and some of the long guys. Can you see that type of performance from Tiger in 2018?
Well, you pointed out the stats, but we're missing one thing. This will be the first time in his career where he's going without a swing instructor. He's opted to do it on his own. So you're going to see Tiger out there with his TrackMan or some other kind of video or aid, and he's going to be doing it on his own and struggling through. We're forgetting that as good as he looked at Hero, this is still a guy who's struggling with the identity of his golf swing, where he wants to be. And he's always been a tinkerer. So I'm worried about the mental Tiger. I'm worried about the Tiger who can get up on the tee and hit the driver and go all out the way Justin Thomas and some of these kids do. I don't know if Tiger's comfortable yet in that place.
What do you think, Josh? Tiger going solo without Chris Como. He recently played golf with President Obama. Maybe he's getting swing tips from him at this point. But could it be a good thing for Tiger to be out there without the different voices talking to him, going back to his roots of just swinging the club and playing golf?
Yeah, I mean, that was the Butch Harmon theory. Butch Harmon said, hey, Tiger, you're the best player ever. Just go out and hit it. Stop thinking so much. So, yeah, there could be a certain amount of freedom in that. It's so hard to know. I mean, once you go down that rabbit hole of exploring your swing, and if you're a tinkerer, and Tiger's always been that way, it's hard to pull out of that. It would be great to see him just go out there and play freely, but I think we're past that point. It's really a hard spiral to come out of.
All right, let's look at this year, and I want to look ahead a little bit, the next 3 to 5 years, and bring in another name into this conversation, and that's Phil Mickelson, who will also play in the Farmers, who really hasn't had much success at the Farmers the last few years. But, Pharrell, when you look at Tiger and Phil this year and beyond, who wins more golf tournaments?
Phil. I mean,
really, at 47 years old?
At 47, because Phil plays free. I mean, you know, he's had his bouts. He's worked with several coaches. He's worked with a mental coach. You know, Phil's very much engaged with his family. He's got one kid out of the house now. He and Amy are always working on their philanthropic stuff. So Phil, he's going to have a new caddy. Obviously, Bones gone. So, but I see Phil as a guy who's in much better shape to play the next 3 to 4, 5 years into his 50s, even like VJ and some others, Kenny Perry. So I like Phil's trajectory a little bit better than Tiger's.
You mentioned in shape. I think that's a key point. I think Phil's in great shape. And I agree that Phil's going to do well here, Josh, for a number of years. I actually think Phil will win more majors over the next few years, whether that's 1, 2, or just possibly Shinnecock in the U.S. Open and complete the Grand Slam. But I think he's going to win more majors than Tiger down the stretch here, though I'm still buying in on Tiger winning more golf events just because of the age difference. He's got the 6-year difference between the two of them. What do you think, Josh?
Well, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, are we talking Champions Tour? You know, if that's the case, I'd say he's up a few times on the Champions Tour and winning plenty there. But, you know, you mentioned majors, and really that's what it comes down to. You know, Phil could win, but at this point in his career, we're talking about what are the legacy wins going to be? Is he going to get the U.S. Open? He'll be 48 when the U.S. Open rolls around. That would make him the second oldest guy to ever win a major after, Julius Boros. So really, I mean, Phil could easily win. Tiger could win. But by Phil's standards now, we're counting on the big ones. And Tiger, as far as he's fallen, I think any win would be a huge victory. But for Phil, we're looking at, you know, the big wins. For him to win the Career Builders Challenge, for him to win the Waste Management, you know, yeah, it could easily happen, but I think the ones that matter and the ones we'll be looking for out of Phil are majors at this point.
Well, no doubt the debates, the arguments, they've been fun, but there's no debating. This is a good week for golf. Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods in the same field at the Farmers Insurance Open. It should be a lot of fun. Pharrell, thanks as usual for being with us. And Josh, thanks for coming to us from the West Coast this morning. And of course, thanks for watching us this week on Tour Confidential. Be sure to join us next week right here on Golf.com.